Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly timeless philosophy drawn from some fascinating source material to figure out why our modern, non-stop pursuit of wealth might actually be a completely misplaced quest for inner peace. You know, we constantly look at the lives of great historical figures and wish we could achieve that same level of importance, but we almost always miss the actual framework that got them there.
Okay, so let's dive right into a completely fascinating paradox from our text. Picture an extreme miser. For 30 years, this guy lives on bare minimums, walking around nearly naked, refusing to even add a side of basic lentils to his bread just to save a few extra pennies. He painstakingly saves up 4,000 rupees. But then a wedding opportunity presents itself, and he instantly blows 30 years of life-draining savings in a single day. Why on earth would he do that?
Section 1. The Illusion of Wealth. Breaking the material paradigm. To figure out that bizarre contradiction, we really have to look at our relationship with money. Think about it. Losing money to a thief causes us immense grief and anger, right? Yet, on the flip side, we happily, almost joyfully, throw away absolute fortunes on a lavish wedding or a grand charity event. If we actually loved the physical paper money, we'd mourn its loss no matter where it went. But we don't. That's because we don't really care about the money itself. We're in love with the internal feeling we think that money buys us.
Our source brilliantly illustrates this with another stark example. Picture a bandit. This guy will literally risk his life, putting absolutely everything on the line just to steal a bag of loot. But what does he actually do with it? He casually drinks it away at the local tavern. He values the temporary joy of a drink far more than the money he just risked his neck to get. It proves that stacking up wealth isn't the true objective here. Money is just a clumsy, kind of misguided tool we use to try and trigger an internal feeling.
The text actually gives us a specific term for this ultimate feeling, Atma Tripti, which translates to inner satisfaction, or a really deep contentment of the soul. And this is the actual hidden driving force behind literally every single human action. Whether you're the miser saving pennies, the bandit stealing gold, or just a modern worker grinding out overtime, you are fundamentally chasing Atma Tripti, even though that quest is usually disguised as a desire for physical things.
Section 2. The quest for inner peace. The limits of the senses.
So if this inner satisfaction is the ultimate goal, why do our usual methods of finding it through physical pleasures constantly fail us? Well, we're constantly trading up for what we perceive as better physical experiences. We drop basic food the second sweets are offered. We toss aside plain flowers for concentrated perfume. But consider this. You could be totally mesmerized by a show, but if someone tapped you on the shoulder and offered you a massive sum of money to leave right then, you'd abandon the entertainment instantly. Our loyalty to physical experiences is incredibly fragile, mostly because they aren't what we're actually looking for.
And our source poses a brilliant question that just completely shatters the illusion of sensory pleasure. If physical things like rich sweets, intimacy, or loud entertainment are the absolute source of true joy, why do they actively disgust us when we're ill? Think about it. When you have a terrible fever, just the thought of your favorite dessert makes you nauseous. This proves the objects themselves contain zero intrinsic joy. The joy, the actual satisfaction, is entirely internal.
Section 3. The True Power of Thoughts. The Engine of Reality.
This brings us to a huge realization. True peace is strictly internal, and the crucial point is captured perfectly in this proverb. As you think, so you shall become. In the framework outlined by our source, thoughts are the ultimate currency of greatness. It's not your bank account that dictates your trajectory. It's the quality of your internal monologue. Your thoughts directly shape the reality and the success you're going to experience.
This brilliantly illustrates the divide. On one hand, we have base, selfish thoughts. When you operate from a place of pure self-interest, you remain trapped in petty, trivial matters. You're essentially blind to the bigger picture. But on the other hand, we have high, selfless, generous thoughts. The text compares these high thoughts to a powerful telescope. If you want to look up, see the distant stars of greatness, and navigate your life by them, that telescope isn't optional. It is absolutely necessary.
After all, the text firmly reminds us of a pretty humbling truth. The physical human body has no intrinsic, lasting value. Millions of physical bodies live, eat, play, and die every single day without leaving a mark on history. It is solely the profound, elevated thoughts of leaders, philosophers, and great souls that compel the masses to follow them. People dedicate their lives to the ideas of great thinkers, not to their physical forms.
Section 4. True Beauty in Simplicity. The Supporting Framework.
But here's the practical challenge. How do we actually sustain these high thoughts in a chaotic world? The source draws a sharp contrast between two ways of living. First, there's artificial living. You know, that flashy, keeping up with the Joneses lifestyle. It is exhausting to maintain and breeds constant low-level anxiety. Contrast that with simple living. It's incredibly peaceful, wonderfully low cost, and has this natural beauty that just doesn't require constant upkeep.
When you live artificially, you're forced to constantly defend a fake facade. You're always worried about people finding out the truth behind the curtain, and that creates severe mental unrest and breeds a super fragile, false pride. According to our source, the more you embrace this flashy, superficial world, the further you are mentally pushed away from that true Atma Tripti we all desperately crave.
Simplicity is the antidote. It strips away all the exhausting theatrics of modern life. It removes the stress of pretending. And by doing that, it allows for a genuinely calm mind. And this, right here, is the core takeaway of the entire philosophy. A calm mind is the absolute prerequisite for maintaining high thoughts. You simply cannot hold up that telescope of high thinking if your hands are shaking with the anxiety of an artificial life. Simplicity is the quiet foundation where greatness actually survives and thrives.
As we wrap up this explainer on the profound truth behind simple living, high thinking, I want to leave you with one final question. Ask yourself honestly, what exhausting, artificial layers are you spending your precious energy maintaining right now? And more importantly, what level of true greatness could you finally achieve if you just stripped them away? Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you build a clearer, simpler path forward.